Hi, it's me again, Serenity. I hope you're all doing okay. Today, I am going to talk about something that I was reading in one of my favorite books. It's a Wayne Dyer book. It's called There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem. I love this book. The topic that I want to focus on today is letting go of what was. In the book, Wayne Dyer says, he refers to a sense of personal history as the greatest illusion. Why does he say that? Because oftentimes we feel trapped in a certain way of thinking or being because we tell ourselves this is how things have always been, this is how they did this is how I learned to do this is how it's always been. The reason he calls this the greatest illusion is because it's a waste of precious energy clinging on to the past, basically, clinging on to an old image of ourselves. Sometimes we even cling on to an old image of our parents, an old image of what our grandparents used to be. This is many people do it. Sometimes they don't know what they're doing is just nonsensical, because you can never change that which you don't acknowledge. But if you acknowledge something that's in the past and you accept it as being real, how do you expect to change it? Dyer compares it to a boat moving along in the water, a speedboat, if you wish. Moving along in the water, it leaves a wake behind it, leaving a trail. Now, we all know it doesn't take a genius to figure out that this wake behind the boat is not what's driving the boat. It's not what's propelling the boat. It's just what's left behind. And just like that boat, our wake does not drive our lives. We live each day to day, not based on what happened a year ago. That's the way we should. Some people we know who can't seem to change, or are so stuck or hard-headed, if you will, live their lives this way because they feel like they have to live up to a certain image. They have this notion of who they are, and nobody's going to change that because that's the way they've always been. This is why we should not label ourselves. This is why we should not identify ourselves with a certain title, with a certain connotation, with a certain description. Like, when you do that, even Wayne Dyer says, when you label something, you negate it. You take away from it. In fact, you put it in a box. You give something a label. You say this is green. This is fat. It has no choice but to be whatever that label is you put on it. It can't become something other than what is on that box. A lot of people I know, like, you ask, why do you like that? Why do you do that? Why can't you understand this, or put yourself in this one's shoes, or whatever? And they're like, well, I can't help it. This is who I am. This is how I always was, or I didn't get it from nowhere. I didn't buy it. Sure, you didn't buy it, but you claimed it. You accepted it. And sadly, they don't realize that, this is something that was given to them. They can choose to accept it, or they can choose to just realize that this is the way someone else was, and this is not what they want for themselves. Maybe they like it, sometimes they like it. But if you want someone else, or someone else's history to drive who you are today, then you have that choice too. Sometimes it's a payoff. It's a payoff they get by doing this because they feel like their offensive behavior or harsh way of being, usually it's something negative. The payoff is that they feel like it's excusable now because this is something they have no choice in. This is something they can't control. This is something that is passed down to them. That is ridiculous because you know, in fact, that they can't help it. They are their own man or woman. And so if they let this happen, then, it's up to you to realize that, or to even make them aware that they're hanging on to someone else's history. Life goes on. Now, oftentimes, too, this is the reason why so many people face so much pain when it comes to change in their life. This is the pain of like breakups, divorce, when kids go off to college, they get the empty nest syndrome, or say losing a job. This is why some people have even committed suicide after they become bankrupt or after they got divorced, because they've already identified themselves, sadly, as the marriage, or as, let's say, the trophy wife, or the suave accountant who knows how to get all the ladies, who can get anybody he thinks he wants. They've already identified this as being who they are. And so when it's gone, they don't know what to do with themselves. The fear of change, of letting go the past that they thought was their identity, is what overtakes them. The only thing we have real control of, beside our mind, is what we're going to do with it now, in this present moment. I read somewhere they said that 2 days a week we should take a vacation, and that's yesterday and tomorrow. We are here, we are now. God is now. And every moment that goes on will be now, whether you like it or not. All good things come to an end. Everything basically comes to an end in the world as we know it. So live life in the peace and the love and the consciousness of the now. This is where you have ultimate control. Now, another thing that gives people a payoff of living in the past is that it gives them the ability to put blame on someone else for something that took place in their lives, or something that did not take place in their lives. This is why blame is so meaningless, it's useless, because you cannot change what's already happened. This was the past. Let it go. You can accept what was, send love to it, and let it go. Move on. I've done this a lot. I mean, from earlier years right up to adulthood, I've done the blame thing a lot. I blame a lot of people for my life being a certain way or not being a certain way that I thought that it could have been or should have been. But I realized over time that the only thing that I can do right now is to make my life what I think it should be. It's too late to blame anyone else. It's, yes, people had a hand in creating what is now. However, I cannot go back and change that. So what I've learned to do is send love to them anyway, and to accept that it's up to me now, and to do the best that I could for my kids, to make sure that their life is the way they feel like it should be when they're adults. This is the best I can do now, is to pass on what I've learned to them and get out of the past, because they are also the future. So I cherish them, and that's why I do my best to make sure that I can do the best I could for them, so that when they're older, when I'm not here anymore, they know deep within themselves that their mom did the best she could, their dad did the best that he could, the people who love them, they know, did the best that they could to support them. Now, just an example of living your life in the past, looking back, is Lot's wife. After they were leaving Sodom and Gomorrah, what happened to her when she looked back? She turned into a pillar of salt. What more can I say about that? I mean, that's a prime example of why we should not do that. God has brought you out of a certain place and into a new realm, a new reality now, and He knows what's best for you. He's going to help you. He's going to provide for you. He's going to protect you. And so what are you looking back at? Do you want to go back? Forward ever? Backward never. Now, one thing that Wayne Dyer says that you can write down is that if you don't have a story, then you don't have anything to live up to. Meaning you can choose to do and be whatever you want to be without having to be forced, having the stress of trying to be something that you no longer wish to be. You have the power. Now, another reason that this causes conflict is because some people have lived their lives this way for so long, then they expect you to do the same thing. This is where we get a lot of problems, we get a lot of arguments, we get a lot of fights, a lot of problems, because here it is now, let's say your parents want you to be, say, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher. For me, my family, my grandmother wanted me to be a teacher or a nurse, because from a young age she felt like I just had that compassion for others. She felt that I could speak well and convey my point, my feelings, that I was tender, loving, kind, caring. But in my heart, I knew that I could teach. I could be a great teacher. I could be a great nurse, because I love the body. I love learning about the body, about health, about wellness. But in the typical form of teaching, I know that it wasn't for me, because my patience level it needs work. And it needed work from a young age. Now, and also, noise is not my thing. Like, I love music. I love all types of music. But say the chaos of a classroom of, say, about 20 kids, that is just not for me. My head would be splitting open and I would lose my cool. Or I would not be able to focus, concentrate. Now, for some people, they're able to do so because that's just them. That's what their passion is. Now, if I were to teach, I would do so in an adult forum. It would be more teaching grown folks who know how to control themselves, who can sit down and listen, who can, that's what's for me. But who knows, one day I might, decide to go into something like that. But at the same time, I never really told her this. I never said, well, I don't want to teach. I always said, something that's true. You're right, because I appreciated her suggestion. I appreciated her telling me what she saw in me. And another book writer or author that I love is Eckhart Tolle. I have the book A New Earth, where he talks about the ego. And ego is a big thing in the world now. This is a problem. This is the reason why I was always able to accept the suggestions given to me, because ego always wants to be right. Ego can create a lot of problems between people because everyone wants to be right. Their egotistical selves, they want to hear praise. They want to feel right. They want to know that they were right. They want you to follow them. And instead of trying to be right and causing arguments and problems unduly, you can just accept it with kindness and love and say, thank you. I thank you for that suggestion. I appreciate your advice. I will look into it, or I will think about it. This is the best way to go about it. You keep your your vibrational energy higher by sending love. Instead of letting the ego fight through it, you're sending love. You remain calm. You remain humble. And you just send it love. So, by letting go of your personal history, letting go of what was, you can now be able to overcome a lot of problems that you thought you would never be able to. You can climb to higher heights. You can soar, so to speak. You can overcome illness. Some people have battled with bouts of illness for most, if not all of their lives. You can overcome money problems. You can overcome relationship problems. Some people never seem to be able to find the right person, that right one. They feel like they're on an endless chase. You can overcome weight problems. You can overcome, mental issues. You feel like, the list goes on. It can be a lot of different things that you can be able now to overcome, because like I said before, if you don't have a story, then you don't have anything to live up to. All you can focus on now is renewing and improving who you are day to day. You hold the power of the present. You have the power to let go of what used to be. I know this makes life a lot easier when you're able to let go. Live for you. Like I said in an earlier post, you write the script of your own movie. So live and let live. Thank you. That's the end of my post. And I will be back sooner rather than later with something else that's near and dear to my heart, something else that I've been meaning to post for a long time, but never quite got around to it. But I guess one step at a time. So until then, peace and love. Namaste.